I think that may be our tree. Plenty of back cover. It's gonna be a little twisty, but I think if we stay low, see where right before it bends, I think we can punch a stand in right there.
And yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a twisty mess, but
we know we're gonna have to walk them in.
Yeah.
We're not gonna pick all the right stands. If we get 50% right, we're ahead of the game.
That's all we need.
Yesterday, we're boots on the ground for the new river farm. Today, it's about hanging stands, putting cameras up. The process begins today. Time to get to work. This is a new farm we have. It's called the River Farm. We just leased it a few weeks ago. We had the opportunity to walk this farm, well, about 2 months ago. What was nice then is all the leaves were down. It's easier to go through the property. We got an idea of food, cover, water, access, enough information to determine was it worth the lease. When I approach a farm like this, I try not to spend too much time on onX. I figure out how I can access the property, but I don't try to overthink what I'm gonna do, because I don't wanna come in with an expectation. I wanna come in, walk the ground, and kind of walk my sets in. So the goal today is maybe 3 or 4 tree stands, 4 or 5 cameras, and just get a base set of intel, and then that becomes a foundation, and then we build off of that.
What are you seeing?
Phenomenal stand location. I mean, just from what you've mowed, from where we outlined this, I mean, you've already increased the size of it by 50%.
Right. Yeah, I think that tree, I mean, there's our access trail coming in right there.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can slide right down, and then I'll just finish mowing that, give us a nice quiet access here. But I think to your point, once I turn you loose with the veil, I think not that bottom end, I think just this top end right here, you know, probably walk it out, at least I'll try to control you, to like 40 yards out from the tree.
Yeah.
And then you just wipe everything out and just give them a pocket right here.
Right. So you see here, it's really obvious where this food plot needs to be. This is the outline we started with. The blue dot is where Rob's already brought it 50% bigger, but you can see the contours. These deer are gonna come down, these low points here, they're gonna make a transition up to this ridge top. Of course, there is the river. As far as having a central food plot, I don't think you could have picked a better location or a better tree. So we're gonna go hang that tree stand now. This is another obvious place to hang a stand. So this is the Lemoyne River, legendary for big buck travel. And as you can tell from this location here, we have these sandbars, so it makes it easy transition from the north to the south. So this north edge is also us. We're probably not gonna have time to get over there today, but I'm banking on these deer coming down and either paralleling the river or crossing by these sandbars. So we'll look for a tree somewhere along this river edge right here, keep this at our back, and run it with a south wind, and hopefully shoot a big deer. This set right here is going to give us a second river set. So now we have a south wind set. This will be a north wind set. And you can tell this tree previously had a stand in it from the hunters that were here before. Probably a good indication this was a highly productive set. These bucks during the river, they're going to run up and down all day long. So we want to make sure we have some options for wind. We're thinking probably kicking it that way. So kick it that way. This gives us 2 river stand sets right now. But what we're gonna do, we'll come in with the veil, and after we clean out that food plot, we'll create a connecting trail, come all the way in here, clear out this little shooting lane, and then connect this with another path. Anytime you can create these travel corridors, these bucks during the rut, they're gonna be following the river. They're gonna hit these mowed paths, and they're gonna go from food plot to food plot. Great for focal points. I think I might be able to put something up there. Definitely they're going to come down a row. Really like this spot. First time I came on the property, I said a grizzly blind has to go here, probably 4-foot legs, and you can see why. We can get up high. Got this big ocean of grass here. Does are going to bed in here, bucks are going to push does in here, but you've got a big oak flat over there. I don't know whether we can punch in a big time plot back there to the east, right against the timber if we can. It'd be something we do year 2 or year 3. But this line of trees here, that's gonna create your edge. These bucks are gonna cruise here to connect to this other oak ridge, so perfect bow distance. But if they use that other tree line, we're only 60, 70 yards with a gun. I think we need to get in here, mow some paths, some basically shooting lanes. But then off here to the west, we have another gunshot here. Access is good. Definitely the hub during the rut, whether it's bow or whether it's gun. Pretty excited about putting a blind here. There's no telling what we're going to catch on this camera. There's 2 main drainages on this property. They run north and south. This is the east drainage, and this is going to be our primary access point. Starting at the tillable fields, we can drop into this drainage, and it's steep on the south end. I'm talking like 200-foot drop-offs. Come down, follow this drainage all the way to this flat. And the reason I hung the camera here is you can tell this drainage is starting to peter out. So any deer on the east ridge, they want to hit the bottom, or they want to go to the west, they've got to come through this spot. So when we come through in the morning, and it's going to be a hike, we're going to come down through the canyon, hit this creek, and now we can access our food plots that we're putting in here, any of our river stands without blowing any deer out. So I'm going to go walk this drainage out now, make sure I can flag it, but I think this is going to be our key to get to these bottom sets. Before we go too crazy, hanging stands everywhere, we got to figure out how the deer move around this property. Now on the north side of this property, it's about 80% timber. The south side is all the ag, which is about 20%. So we hung this camera here. We're gonna hang 2 or 3 more reconics, but the most important thing is we're gonna set them on time-lapse mode. 1 picture every 5 minutes, the last 2 hours of the evening, and we're gonna triangulate this field. So that way we can figure out how the deer enter the field, how the deer leave the field for a hunt strategy and an access strategy. But there's nothing like watching these deer with your own eyes. So tonight, we're gonna come back when the sun starts to set, stand on top of the Diamondback, and hopefully see a big buck. I absolutely love the process of setting up a new farm. The last couple days have been really busy. We have 5 new stands set up, 8 cameras soaking right now, just trying to understand what do we have on the farm. buck-to-doe ratios, deer densities, maybe some potential hit listers. But this process is going to continue to evolve and go on through deer season. So at this point, we're just going to let the camera soak, back out, spend most of our time behind the glass. So make sure you follow us for the development of the new river farm.